Breathe. Yeah, breathing is always good. So as we take that collective breath and know that there is one life, one love, one universal divine mind, and that divine mind is operating right here, right now, knowing that each of us are walking this path together. So as we breathe in and out, knowing that life knows what it is doing. It is all perfection. It is all love. It is all good. So I allow this time to settle and be. I release these words to law, knowing right action is already happening. And so it is. Well, hello everyone. My name is Reverend Tamara Rossander. I'm so excited to see so many people. Oh my goodness, I don't know exactly where to look here. The people over here, but my Zoom people are here. I might need to move my camera a little. But I'm so glad that you're able to make it and join us today. And I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that, and I recognize that I'm an uninvited settler on this land. I'm grateful and honored to live on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Coast Salish peoples. As CSL White Rock is committed to the vision of a loving, vibrant world that works for all, we are committed to uplifting Indigenous voices, respecting traditional lands, and working with communities towards reconciliation. I want to thank the First Peoples who continue to live and care for our Mother Earth. So now, it is my time to introduce one of our most favorite musicians. I think I say that about all my musicians. Sorry, Ivan, but I'm really happy you're back. And he's singing my favorite song, so there we are. So everybody, Ivan Boudreau.
Thank you, Tamara. Young man sitting on a bench in the rain, hats on the ground, waits for spare change. Ask him how he's doing, look him in the eyes. Everybody needs a little love in their life. Live with love, love with grace. Put a smile on a stranger's face. Little things you say and do. With love, grace, gratitude. Tells me he's hoping every nickel and dime will help buy blankets 'cause it's cold outside. There's not enough beds to keep his friends warm. A little bit of kindness never does any harm. Live with love, love with grace. Put a smile on a stranger's face. Little things you say and do. With love, grace, gratitude. Share some love along the way. It will come back to you someday. We yearn for things we haven't got, live too fast, race the clock. All the joy that we've been through, There's nothing wrong with gratitude. So live with love, love with grace. Put a smile on a stranger's face. Little things you say and do with love, grace, gratitude.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. I've known Ivan for decades because you still live in Maple Ridge, right?
Well, close. Port Coquitlam.
Okay, because we used to go hear his music at somebody's house, and then the Billy Miner, all these places. So Norm and I've been groupies forever. Fantastic. I just had to say that today. So thank you for that music. So good morning. I'm Georgia Deacon, and I'm one of the spiritual practitioners here at CSL White Rock. And I'd love to welcome all of you who are new today. If this is your first time, glad to see you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. And if you're online, please send your email to our navigator for all of this internet stuff, and she would love to have your name if you want to join us on the website. So you know that Science of Mind is a holistic approach to spirituality. It's a philosophy, a faith, a way of life. And here at CSL White Rock, we have 4 cornerstones. The first one is there's only one life, and it's the source of all life and all things. So if you get that, the rest is gravy. We are spirit. We are all spirit having a human experience. That's what we are. That's it. We're spirit. And I have to remind myself of that all the time. I'm just spirit showing up as human. Nothing outside of us needs to change in order for us to be happy. My husband says that all the time. When he gets grumpy, he says, oh yeah, nothing outside of me needs to change in order for me to be happy. Right, sweetie? That's my first husband. I didn't bring my boyfriend today. And finally, we are here to walk each other home. And that's how it felt when I first came to this center, was this feels like home. So that's what we have to remind ourselves of. So you'll find these fundamental beliefs at the heart of our community, and it's expressed through various forms of participation and connection. So as Tu puts on the slides, here come the slides, yep. It's an invitation to connect. At noon, we're going to discuss Chapter 4, Science of Mind. Everyone's welcome if you're online or in person. So it's been a great gathering to just discuss Chapter 1, and this is Part 4 of Chapter 1, right? Chapter 4. Chapter 4 of Part 4 of Chapter 4. Yeah. Thank you. All right, got it. Anyways, it's a great conversation, great time to really connect with each other and have a chance to talk about the philosophy behind this teaching. Next Sunday, we are on Zoom, all of us, 100%. And after this, join practitioner Diane. There she is. She's looking beautiful today. Extra beautiful. She got her hair done. It's quite lovely. She's going to be at Bakerview Park, and she'd love to see you at 2, weather permitting. I'm sure it's going to be beautiful weather. Yeah? Okay. And we're looking forward to volunteers to support our sound system. If you have a few minutes, we could teach you how to plug in. I think you know how to do that. We would like your help. So if you want to come and help us, we would love to have you work with us on our sound system. We need that extra help. And now if we want to just settle in, we're going to have a meditation. First, I invite you to put one hand on your heart and one in your abdomen. And just feel the breath as it's rising and falling. And as you follow the breath, we can say to ourselves, breathing in, I become aware of my whole body. Breathing out, I relax all the muscles in my body. Aware of body, relaxing body, breathing in. I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Calm, smile. A gentle, soft smile will release all the muscles in our face If we can smile to our suffering, we can already feel some relief. We do not need to wait until we feel like smiling in order to smile. Sometimes we feel good and we smile. Sometimes we smile and this makes us feel better. A smile says that this is not the end of the world, even if it feels like it. If it's easier, you may like to simply repeat the short words: in, out, breathe. Anchoring your awareness into these key words. In, out, deep, slow. Calm, ease. Smile, release. Keep breathing these words and notice your breath. Your out-breath is longer than your in-breath. Savor the pause at the end of each breath. Relax and allow the tension in your body to slowly dissipate as we begin this meditation. Today, I invite you to bring along a loved one to be with you. If you wish, you may visualize a loved one who may have transitioned already. Could be a pet. Or maybe you have someone in mind that you haven't seen for a long time. Invite them in your mind to join you at this time. Remember, when we walk, we are not walking alone. Our parents and ancestors are always walking with us. They are present in every cell in our body. So as we visualize each step with our loved one, it brings us peace, healing, and happiness. These steps also bring peace, healing, and happiness to our parents and our ancestors. We have the power to transform the past. Notice that each mindful step has the power to transform us and all our ancestors within us, including our spiritual ancestors and our animals and our plants and our mineral ancestors. They are here with us. We never walk alone. When we walk for our family, for our loved ones and the whole world. And as we practice this meditation, our loved ones can continue to walk with us. Try to imagine their hand in yours as you walk. Feel their presence alive within us and beside us. As we walk, we notice our mindfulness, our peace, and our calm. We notice that our loved ones are also walking mindfully with peace and with calm. And we might stop to notice the beautiful view, or maybe watch the setting sun, or listen to the birds singing, and we can share this with our loved one. Now, as you look into their eyes, you can ask them, do you see this beautiful sunset? Do you see these beautiful trees? Enjoy everything for them and yourself. When you are fully mindful and in touch with your loved one and all your ancestors at this present moment, everyone, and I mean everyone, benefits from and is nourished by this peace, the joy, and the beauty of the moment. This is how we can heal ourselves and heal our loved ones while keeping them alive within us. Today we are practicing that mindfulness. We touch freedom. Freedom from remorse and regrets. Freedom from anguish and fear, and freedom is the basis of happiness. Without freedom, there is no true happiness. Every step you make, every breath you take, every moment of sitting and visualizing this meditation, and every action you take is mindfulness and brings us more peace, joy, solidity, and freedom. Most of these words have come from a beautiful book by Thich Nhat Hanh, and here's a small poem from him called Footsteps in the Sand. Deserted beach, footsteps in the sand, erased by rain. The anguish comes from nowhere, and its feet do not yet touch the earth. Suddenly I hear a far-off whisper of the gentle winds of spring, and the anguish is gone. You could release your loved one, thank them for joining you today, and allow yourself to come back into the room. Namaste. I'd like to welcome back Ivan.
Here's a song from myself and my co-writer, John Bowman, called Just a Little Grace. Oh, the days are long and the nights seem to go on and on. Each hour lasts just a little longer. Some days the sun don't shine into this heart of mine, so I pray to be much stronger. 'Cause if I had the strength of a mighty redwood tree, if I had the wisdom my elders gave to me, and if I had the patience of a farmer planting seeds, a little more faith, just a little grace, I would find the things I need. My old man's good advice, I didn't listen much, paid no mind, went my own way, made my own mistakes. Now I followed down the road he walked, remembering the ways he taught, guides me in the choices that I make. 'Cause if I had the strength of a mighty redwood tree, if I had the wisdom my elders gave to me, and if I had the patience of a farmer planting seeds, a little more faith, just a little grace, I would find the things I need. I never liked to wait, chasing down dreams seemed to be my fate, wishing tomorrow would soon be yesterday. I never got to smell the flowers as I counted down the hours. I should have stopped along the way. And if I had the strength of a mighty redwood tree, if I had the wisdom my elders gave to me, or if I had the patience of a farmer planting seeds, a little more faith, just a little grace, I would find the things I need. A little more faith, just a little grace, I would find the things I need.
Ivan, you never fail to disappoint. That is amazing song. Beautiful. If I had the strength of a redwood tree. I have goosebumps. And it's so perfect. Today we're talking about monsters. Inc. You know the movie? But really those monsters, how they turn into our friends. That they're not really monsters. They're the things, those thoughts in our heads that we make into monsters. But we know that we have the strength of that redwood tree, and we have that little bit more grace when we have faith. When we have faith, when we talked about Georgia's meditation, and in her meditation about walking through and taking every moment and viewing the sunsets, the trees. How important is that to be in that space of taking everything in? So I'm just settling myself because that song just threw me off. It was so amazing. The affirmation for this week is, I connect with my true power and unleash it fully. I connect with my true power and unleash it fully. So what does that mean? What does that mean to you? Because it might mean a little bit something different to each one of us. But to me, that is about that connection with that divine source that we have. When I connect with that, that is when I can unleash my full potential. Because really, each of us are that full potential of the one. There is everything we need, as Georgia said earlier, everything we need is in here, inside of us to make us happy. And the thing is, what we do is we clog things up a little bit. I don't know about you, but I know I do. I can clog up a few things, tell myself a few really good stories about what's going on. I was away this last week up in Penticton, got a nice little tan out on the boat. It was lovely. And I was with my grown-up children, and it was really nice. We stayed at this family cabin, a neighbor of ours rented to us, and his parents were watching our families there. And he said it's so nice to see adult children with their parents, because that doesn't always happen. He said there's not very many families that will bring a 28 and a 25-year-old along with them, or that they even want to be there with them. But it was interesting because I thought, the week was going along well, everybody was having fun, and then just one little comment was made. And that little comment turned into, oh, aren't you going to help? And then that turned into a bigger story, which turned into a bigger story. And then finally, my son, who grew up in the Montessori teaching, he's like, Mom, I need to take you to the peace table. And so so this 25-year-old, 6'2" burly young man sitting down going, what story are we making up here? And because, my daughter Cassie had been helping tons. She was totally amazing the whole trip. But it was just interesting how my thoughts all of a sudden got way out of control. There was that story, that monster. Oh my goodness, she's not appreciative. Oh, what is she doing? Oh, look I just say one thing and she takes it off the other way. Blah, 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 blah. Oh my goodness. But really the truth was, she had already arranged to have the help taken care of. She'd already organized the dinner. So she was just taking a little bit of a few moments because there was 9 of us. So that's a big group. Sometimes, I don't know about you, but I need that little bit of alone time. And so she set it up that way. So thank goodness my son had the wisdom to say, Mom, settle down. It's all good. But those are those triggers, those things where we can go. And for my daughter, she got upset as well because that thought that I was trying to control the situation. And I was then in that place of power. And so there, she was bucking up against that, saying, hold it, I'm 28, I'm a big girl, I've got my big girl panties on, I can handle this. But she felt the micromanagement of, oh, are you doing this, are you doing that? But that is the way I grew up, because that is how I had to stay safe. I had to control the situation. I'll just say it. I grew up in an alcoholic family, and also my grandparents, so there was a lot around. in my life. And so I always had to keep myself super busy because then I knew what was going to happen. I could control the situation. If I was busy and I knew what all the pieces were, then I was safe. But it was when I moved away from knowing what all the pieces were and how everything was going to play out, then I wasn't. But I know that now that's not the truth of who I am. But sometimes I slip back. I can slip back easily. I'm still this little human, the spirit having this human experience. But it's when I then look back and connect to that. Because in our spiritual community, I love that we believe something special, that our thoughts and beliefs have a lot of power. But there's a quote from Wayne Dyer. I don't know if you can put the quote up on the screen for me. I put it on the slide. He said, "One individual who lives and vibrates to the energy of pure love and reverence for all life will counterbalance the negativity of 750,000 individuals who calibrate at the lower weakening levels." Isn't that amazing? That is a lot of people, thanks to so much. So it means that when we try to fight against the things that happen around us, we actually give those things more power in our minds. So that thought, oh, my daughter's not doing enough, and then it grew and grew and grew, but that wasn't the truth at all. Those were just the outward vision of what I was imagining. It wasn't the truth, but it was my perception of what the truth was. But it wasn't the capital T truth at all. So we start, and two, the other thing is we know that there's no such thing as pure evil. We believe that everything is connected and part of the one big picture. When we fight with the outside world, we forget this connection, and we start to think that we're separate from everything else. But that's not true either. But that doesn't mean we just sit back and do nothing. We still take action, but we do it in a special way. First, we take a step back, look at things from that higher perspective, and then we see the bigger picture and understand how we can make the most and the positive impact. I like to think of it, it's like you're climbing the mountain, and then you get to the top of the mountain, and you can see the lakes and the trees and the forest. But you got that higher perspective, that view of the whole valley. And then you can figure out the best way to climb back down. So sometimes in life we encounter things that seem like monsters. It could be people, it could be organizations, or sometimes it's the circumstances that appear big and scary. But here's the truth. They're not as real as they seem, right? They're not as real as they seem. When we look at them through the perspective of the infinite mind, we see that it's all just kind of smoke and mirrors. It's like a magic trick that really can't harm us. So just like the monsters in the story, things can make a lot of noise and try and knock us down, but guess what? When we build that inner house on the solid foundation of spirit, they can't blow it down. Sure, they might affect our outer form, the real substance, but the internal life and spirit within us remains strong and unshakable. But here's something important to remember. We don't have to stand in opposition to these peoples or things. In fact, they are our brothers and sisters too. Deep within every individual, there is a spark of life and love. Now, we might have that moment where it might be challenging when we see somebody doing something that we're maybe judging as, oh, why are they doing that? Which maybe I did already in my story earlier. But the thing is, the truth was, it's not the truth, right? It might seem challenging, but yet if I looked at my daughter in the eyes of love and light with a little bit of grace and gratitude, then that makes a whole world of difference. All of a sudden, I step over here. I'm like, oh, it's a brand new world. It's not the same as it was over there. So there's a story, and there's two stories in the Bible. We don't really talk about the Bible a lot here at Centers for Spiritual Living, but there's one thing that thought about the power of the story of the monsters and the giants, and how when we have that faith is the story of David and Goliath, right? So here is this 9-foot warrior wanting to, challenging the Israelites to come and fight him. And there's a young shepherd with only a slingshot and a stone. And this 9-foot warrior's like, oh, ha, 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 kind of thing. And so, but David defeats him because he had the faith. He didn't have the armor. He didn't have the sword. He didn't have everything else that this Goliath had. But he tuned in, he listened, and had that faith and that connection with the divine, and listened and followed through and end up winning. And it's also with Moses going through, taking the Israelites through the land to find the promised land, and all the challenges that all the incredible wonders and miracles that he performed. Moses was called the meekest of men. But do you know what that means? It means he put aside his own doubts and fears to listen to Spirit. He put aside his own doubts and fears to listen to Spirit. He trusted in something greater than himself. And by doing that, he led the Israelites from captivity to freedom. So we can see that we all feel like sometimes we're in captivity when we let the collective thoughts and fears of others lead us around. But when we turn to the truth and power within us, we can speak truth to any circumstance we face. And just like in the story, the monsters will transform, and so will we. So Ernest Holmes said, "One alone in consciousness with the infinite constitutes a complete majority." Let me repeat that one again. One alone in consciousness with the infinite constitutes a complete majority. So what I take that to mean is this means that when we connect with the infinite power within us, we become stronger than anything that seems powerful on the outside. And I think we can look at our world right now with a lot of different things happening, whether it's to the south of us or here or in England, wherever it is that there is troubles going on in the world. But if we can look at that and look at them in love and light and hold that truth, knowing that we can look at everybody in love and light and see them that way, rather than fighting against it, but joining that collective energy of love to bring about transformation. If we step into that, step into the love that each of us are, and step into the love that is that energy of the world, as we said, we vibrate that energy of love out there, 750,000 people will shift. So, as CSL White Rock, our mission is to be a loving, vibrant world that works for all. So we can be that. We can make, even though we might think that we're not making a shift in the world, by doing one small thing, we can do. And it's just remembering not to confuse power and control. I like to think of power as the ability to get things done, rather than controlling the situation, micromanaging it. Just seeing here. So once we are alone in the consciousness with the infinite, we are tapped into a power greater than we are. And we may not know the how of creating the better world, right? Sometimes we always want, well, how can I do this? What can I do? How do I do that? But sometimes it's getting out of our own way and just allowing what's going to come through from Spirit, and then do that. That's why I love the visioning process. That is really getting out of our own way and tapping in and connecting with whatever Spirit's highest source is for us. And remember that Spirit, we commit to taking a stand for life enhancing, and since Spirit is the ultimate source and first cause of life, we turn to that Spirit for guidance, and then we act and live from that place. How many times have you heard, first we have to treat and then move our feet? So connect with prayer or meditation, whatever it is for each individual, but it's doing our own spiritual practice. That is where we start with that inner work that ripples out again into the outer. So that which seems like monsters, again, people, organizations, are not as real as they appear. It's really the story that we make up about it. It's really the story that we make up. So remember that we're always at choice. It may not seem like it at times. Because somebody once asked me, well, Tamara, I'm not always at choice. Like, I have to clean the toilet bowl every week. I'm like, well, do you really have to clean the toilet bowl every week? What would happen if you didn't? Well, it would be disgusting and I wouldn't like it. But the point is, though, some people that would be okay. Maybe not anybody in this room I know. But that may be fine to leave it for 2 weeks. Again, we're always at choice. So it's taking that moment and breathing, like we did earlier, breathing into life, breathing into the love, and knowing that we can create a world that works for everyone. So that's a lot. Does anybody have any questions? Any thoughts? I know, I'm adding that in because I realize I'm running out of time. But all right. Yes, Janet. Yay, Janet.
One of the things that you said is what I really like is not needing to know the how of it.
Yeah.
Knowing it will work out, just not. And that really helps.
Yeah,
A lot.
lot. Janet was just saying for the people on Zoom that sometimes that not knowing how things are going to work out is okay, but it's having that trust. Again, it's that faith, having that strength of that redwood tree, standing firm in our beliefs that we are one with that one, that things are always working in our favor. Jill always, and I use it a lot in my prayer treatments, that life is unfolding. That's from Michael Singer. Or life knows what it's doing, and that's from Michael Singer. Because life does know what it's doing. So it's just following through and allowing that space and allowing things to happen rather than forcing it. Reverend Champion one time said, I was struggling with something, and they said, Tamara, you really sound like you're swimming upstream. I thought that was a perfect, example of where I was pushing. I had to push the water. I had to push through to get somewhere, rather than just surrendering and allowing what was next, and not worrying about not having to be in control, not worrying about if I was being, standing in my own power, but it was just allowing Spirit to work through me. And that is where we can be so impactful, is when we allow Spirit to work through us. And that's through, again, I know one of our members does a lot of meditation with Tara Brock, but it's getting into that place of knowing, connecting with that divine. And Jill always says, and Ernest Holmes said, when we connect with that divine, it's like connecting with that friend within. I think I'm saying that right. Am I, Jill? Yes, she says, yes. It's good. Yes, Jill.
So I think where you pointed out about the higher consciousness and how that affects 750,000 people, and I think it's the clarity that we have, and it's our own vision. When we are clear about what we want to feel, where we want to go, and it's not the how or vision that you have of joy and love in our lives.
Yes.
When we're clear about that, then that's when we allow, we're open and allow, and the work will be done by something that is not us, greater than us.
Something great, yeah. Jill was just saying about when we're clear and we know what it is that we want and how we want to feel, because that's what it's all about. It's about that feeling of joy, of awe, of wonder. When we can step into that feeling and be clear about what it is that we want to experience, that we can move forward much easier, and then we don't have to worry about the how. We can be in that place of flow, that place of allowing. And as this month we're talking about the powers, the infinite source, and last month we talked about self-care and how this really ties in. Again, because when we're taking that time to take care of ourselves, that is when we can connect easier to the divine. So I want to leave you with this last thought. You have the ability to transform monsters into love and light. Trust in the power within you, listen to spirit, and create a world that works for all. Remember, you are the shining light, and together we can make a difference. So I hope this inspires you to embrace your inner power, trust in the infinite wisdom, and take steps towards your own spiritual transformation. You have the ability to create positive change in your life and others. Thank you. I'll take this into prayer. Knowing that there is this one life, the one love, the one universal divine mind, that mind that is operating right here, right now, in, through, and as each person. Knowing that I am one with that one. There is no separation. I am part of it, knowing that each of you are also part of it. When we step out of our own way and allow spirit to guide us to joy, to love, to the experience of happiness that we so desire, it is allowing each of us to move in the direction that calls us forward. Knowing that connection, knowing that deep intuition, that trust, that faith in the one. There is endless possibilities out there for us. It is a matter of what am I willing to accept today? What am I willing to choose today? So today I know I choose joy. I choose to vibrate from that space of love, of happiness, of wonder and awe, of the enjoyment of living this human experience, of taking it all in, the beauty of the trees, the sunsets, knowing that life is perfection. It always knows what it is doing. So I claim this for myself, and I claim this for each person in this community, knowing that life is good. So I release these words with gratitude and joy into the law of mind, which always gives back to us. So I let it go, I let it be, and ask you to join me in saying, and so it is. And now, I welcome back Ivan.
Thanks, Tamara. This is a song by a good friend from Nashville, a Grammy-nominated songwriter, Doug Gill. And it started with a sign on a church in Tennessee, one of the signs you see out front of some of the churches. Don't pray for a lighter load, pray for a stronger back. So it's called Stronger Back. I had everything and lost it all. I built towers of gold and watched them fall. I tried my best but I guess my best wasn't good enough. I made promises and broke them. I've laid loved ones' lives wide open. Well, I've got a broken heart, and I've come this far, and I ain't giving up. I pray for a stronger back. I pray for a bigger heart. I pray for the will to keep on walking when the way is dark. I follow that winding road, just try to stay on track. Don't pray for a lighter load, pray for a stronger back. I've seen losers get a second chance. I've seen miracles in happenstance. I've seen long shots come from way behind to win the race. I've had dreams blow up in a cloud of smoke. It's a world of pain, it's a world of hope. And though it's dark right now, I know somehow, someday the sun will find a way to shine down on my face. I pray for a stronger back. I pray for a bigger heart. I pray for the will to keep on walking when the way is dark. I follow that winding road, just try to stay on track. Don't pray for a lighter load, pray for a stronger back. I follow that winding road, just try to stay on track. Don't pray for a lighter load, pray for a stronger back.
Thank you, Ivan. Amazing. So are you playing anywhere coming up? No.
No, summer's free.
Summer's free. Oh, you just take some time off. Good for you, Ivan. It's good for you. Well, I'm so glad that you joined us again today. But now it's time to take a moment to acknowledge our gratitude for our loving community. As you may know, CSL White Rock is a not-for-profit, and such we depend on each other for support to grow our community. It is from a place of love and gratitude that each of us enter into the natural circulation of abundance. That is the very pulse of the universe. So if you are willing, place your hand on your heart and know a specific good for yourself and this center. So Tu's put the slide up. Excellent, thank you, Tu. And this is our affirmation. I give from my heart to that which renews my faith in the perfection of my life. My giving supports the transformation of my consciousness and the unity of all life. So there are a few ways that you can support CSL White Rock. That's through donating online at cslwhiterock.com, e-transfer check, and we're just going to take a moment here as well in person. And two, I don't know if we're going to play the song. Are we? Maybe? No? Okay. Oh, that's right, we can't hear her. I forgot today, our technology issues happened that we can't hear too. So we will leave it at that. So we're just going to take a moment in silence and allow our basket to pass. Thank you. Or maybe I can play something here too. Let's see what happens. Ask Ivan. Oh, Ivan, could you strum a little for us? Thank you. We usually play a song called I Am Blessed, but I haven't asked you to learn that, so That's way better to have Ivan live. We'll just take a minute. And meanwhile, while Ivan's playing, could I have all my practitioners come up, please? Yeah, I guess this way. Thank you. Thank you, Ivan. So, you might notice, whoop, there we are. We have a new practitioner. Everybody, I'd like to introduce our newest practitioner, Liv Daniels. No S, just Daniel. And she is joining us from Bellingham. Well, she lives in Vancouver, sorry, my head is back to you guys. But she's from Vancouver, and she has been training down in Bellingham. And Jill and I had the pleasure of going down and doing panels, was that 2 weeks ago now? 2 weeks ago in Bellingham, and Liv passed, and she is asked to join us here at CSL White Rock. So we are more than delighted. Yes. Welcome. So you'll be seeing Liv here as well, doing prayers and meditations, so that is great. And
She is young.
Georgia says she's a teenager. It's true, that Georgia. So just know too that our practitioners, as well as being here, they're here to support you. And it is always their delight and pleasure to do prayer with you, whether you're struggling or whether you just want to notch it up a little bit. It doesn't have to be hard and heavy. It can also be for something you're wanting more experience in your life. So a stronger back. That's right. Well, I have a little bit of a stronger back. So if you want to experience the gift of prayer, please see one of our practitioners, including Liv, and you can, it's free. Oh yes, today it is after service here. We always offer that free for everyone, and you can always book an appointment with our practitioners online or give them a call. And we also have on our website, we have a request for prayer, and that gets answered by one of our practitioners as well. So I just want everybody to join me in saying, something wonderful is happening in me right now.
Something wonderful is happening in me right now.
It's this thing called life.
It's this thing called life.
It's this thing called love.
It's this thing called love.
It is this thing called oneness.
It's this thing called oneness.
I know it. I feel it. I express it. I am it. And so it is. And welcome back, Ivan. Rousing song. Thank you.
Here's a song called Nothing Ventured, Nothing Gained. Whoops, I guess it was on. Whoops. What did I do? That was me. The hours ran away today, work to do, time's passing, need to find a better way. It's the only thing I'm asking. Second guessing holds me back, looking in that rear view mirror, cut myself a little slack and hope the way gets clearer. Where there's a shadow, there's a light, like the brightest star in the darkest night. These dreams I hold won't fade away. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Well, I can't ever walk the line back and forth from fame to shame, climb the walls or I'm feeling fine. It's like a snakes and ladders game. There's a shadow, there's a light, like the brightest star in the darkest night. These dreams I hold won't fade away. But nothing ventured, nothing gained. Live my life in fits and starts, 2 steps up, 3 steps backward. I'll work around the tricky parts, avoiding disaster. Where there's a shadow, there's a light, like the brightest star in the darkest night. These dreams I hold won't fade away. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Where there's a shadow, there's a light, like the brightest star in the darkest night. These dreams I hold won't fade away. But nothing ventured, nothing gained. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ivan. So wonderful to have everyone. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us today. So fabulous to be in person and seeing all these lovely, smiling faces, as well as all our Zoom people. Thank you for showing up and being here with us. It's so appreciative. And oh, I see Derek is here with us on Zoom, and Derek is going to be speaking next Sunday. Yay, Derek, thank you for joining us. So it's so great, everybody. So it's time now to say goodbye. And if you're going to stay, see Diane in the back, and we're going to set up to discuss